I love it. I
Oh
love it.
God. Oh God.
What's the biggest part of the Oh God?
Um, I was in Colorado last month, and we hiked up a mountain it's called Keller Glade, which is my last name. So we
Oh,
hiked up
that's cool.
to take a photo of it, and I was so out of breath, and I'm like, I have a trainer. What the hell is wrong with me? So that altitude, So I looked at my wife. I'm like, am I really going to be able to do this? And I'm like, if I can't do it, there's got to be some people that are not going to have a trainer, So
Well, Melinda
You know
can
what?
speak to
You
that
know what,
too.
Rich? It's so funny because we were wondering that when we were hiking. There are so many people that do this, and these companies that, the Sherpas and the people that take whoever shows up on these trips, it's like, well, how do they know if people can do it? But yeah, there were lots of variety of folks. I mean, there really were, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, a little acclimatization is important to kind of get used to the altitude and get your red blood cells working best. But yeah, I walked. I was the tortoise. I swear. I
wow,
was almost the whole time thinking the tortoise and the hare,
wow,
and I got there. I did it. So not the whole
awesome.
time, but some of the time. But yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's awesome.
Welcome, guys. What's up, Kirk?
Hey guys, how are you?
How are you, my friend?
Kirk, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, how are you, Kath?
Great.
I don't even know what this is, so I apologize. I just had it on my calendar.
Well, guess what, Kirk?
what?
You're going to Peru.
You're going to Peru.
I thought I was in like some private meeting, and if I am, kick me out.
No. So we are in April of next year. We are doing the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu in Peru, and Melinda is leading this expedition. So she's done it before. And anyway, so today is just we just put it out there for people to get more information about what we're up to.
Very impressive, yeah, impressive, Melinda.
Just so you know, Kirk, because this may happen a lot with and maybe this doesn't happen on Zoom, but there's like a buzzing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, I had muted you, Kirk. So if you have anything you need to say, feel free to unmute yourself. But when you're not talking, it's a buzz.
Okay, you guys know sign language, right?
All right. Well, let's get started. I mean, I think as we get closer, we're obviously way, way, way off from this happening, but we're going to probably do lots of these sessions. But we're excited about anything we get to do together is always fun, and to do something that is so iconic as the Inca Trail and being in Machu Picchu is to me like a dream come true. Melinda, just so you know, I have a 1:30 that I'm going to have to jump off to, but I'm going to turn it over to Melinda. Is a very experienced traveler, and also I wouldn't call you're a travel consultant. And she just does a great job. So she, offered to extend her services to our group as we think about, getting prepared for this epic trip next April. So anyway, Melinda, it's all yours. Hello, Jody.
And I'm an outlier. I'm an outlier. I'm part of the family. So.
And you are a part of the family.
How would I share a screen?
Bottom, if you're on the gallery view. So if you're not on a full screen, you'll be able to see the share button.
Okay, something's
so on
going
the
on.
top left, come out of the full screen.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, let's see.
And there were quite a few people, Lauren, a few people who asked me to record this and send it. So I am recording it.
Okay. So this isn't working. Let's see. I'm going to stop doing that. So
You can also
sort of
share something with me, Melinda,
see it.
and I can share it with the share the screen.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's see. So I can send you this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry for the delay. I just need to get this to Kathy.
Melinda and I met 30 years ago when we were school teachers together in a little independent school. I was the first grade teacher and she was the middle school teacher. And we have raised our kids together. And now we've traveled a ton together because she organizes these pickleball trips and that I've been able to take with her and offer self-care on. And we're doing a clipper ship cruise in January.
So I just texted it. Is that a good method?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I can say hi to everyone while you're gathering that. Hello, everyone. Great to see you here. So yeah, I've been traveling my whole life, and somehow it just doesn't stop, and it's amazing stuff. A couple of years ago, my brother and I hiked the Inca Trail, and we went in October, and so some of the things we did I thought were amazing that kind of preceded the hike, and so what I have created is a sort of a combination, including the hike and some things in and around it. I don't know if anyone's been to Peru here on this call.
Never.
Okay. So it's a really fascinating country. I mean, it's very colorful. You know, it's one of these places where you'll see people in highly decorated dress, you know, embroidered, colorful clothing, and llamas and goats, and you know, just sort of like on the land kind of indigenous folks. Really beautiful weaving, and that kind of thing. And they have a big connection with Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is known as Pachamama. And so they, yeah, so that was the presenter. I don't know how you want to show this, but this is perfect. And so for me, you know, travel it's important, I believe, to find a way to connect with the destination and feel like when you go to a place that the place is giving you something and you're also giving of yourself something. So, and this is some of these photos from my trip. And so we can start. So let's go to the next slide, Kath. So this is my group. This is actually 2 college friends and my brother's on the right. And this is just representing the energy that we felt kind of almost the whole time, of just feeling like we were soaring in this magical land. Next slide. So the way this goes is there's a place called Cusco, which is kind of a hippie town. It's at about 11,000 feet elevation. And that's where everything sort of starts. It's like a hub for where a lot of the hiking starts, or the people that come to hike start. But because it's at about 11 to 12,000 feet elevation, it's not a great place to start when you're coming from a lower sea level part of the world. So it's recommended to go to a place called the Sacred Valley. And the Sacred Valley is about 8,000 feet. It's still high, but it's not as high. And what happens in the body is that when we're at a higher elevation, we have thinner, our oxygen level is, you know, thins out, and we need to, we have less oxygen in the body. So every breath doesn't quite get the oxygen that you're used to getting to the body and the brain. And so we need to kind of stay low for a bit so that our body produces enough red blood cells to work. So that's what that does. And in addition to that, people say, well, what about altitude sickness? If you're a generally healthy person, it's not a concern. I went to my doctor to find out, do I need altitude sickness medication? And I was told, no, drink a liter of water a day for 2 weeks preceding this hike. Make sure, like 2 liters, I think they said, actually. And so the water intake really is important. And I felt amazing just from drinking that water. I think it's important to do all the time because I really, somehow it like charged my energy up. I had no trouble with altitude sickness. So Urubamba, is the town where we would be heading from Cusco. And I've arranged, and I'm sort of, to be honest, right now, still kind of working out which company I'm going to connect with to formulate some of this. But because in Peru, it's good to have a specialist in the destination that you can call upon if you need something. I'm working with a couple of different companies that would provide the transportation from the airport to the Sacred Valley. That also kind of covers the hotel stay there, and then the transportation back to Cusco, etc. We'll go on to the next slide to get a sense of this. So in Urubamba, there's a hotel that likely it'll be the place that we land, called Liziwasi. There's a typo there, I see. And that's where we stayed. And it was really beautiful. They had this backyard with llamas and gardens and just really friendly, wonderful people, beautifully, comfortably, sort of simply laid out. And the town that you can explore is walking distance. So you can go to the next slide. So this is where it's located. You can see a tiny little Liziwasi sign in the slide, small little street. And then you can explore markets. I don't have a lot of pictures of this town, but one of the things we would do the next day, yep, you can go back to that, is with a group called Sonidos del Andi. And for me, this was a way to connect with Pachamama. Like I felt like I want to really sort of land here. And so this is a person he's an ethnomusicologist from Peru, an Incan person. And he brings this experience of the sounds of the Andes, literally with instruments that he's collected from ancient instruments, really amazing clay objects that you never even would imagine were instruments that you could play that were used in ancient ceremony, and flutes and drums and things. And this, he brings you down to a river, and they dress us in kind of some traditional clothing. And then we are learning about the Pachamama and the tradition of the Pachamama. It's very, akin to Native American in terms of belief in honoring nature and animals and spirits and the land, because of being grateful for what it gives. And then we do this ceremony where it's very peaceful. You're relaxing while you're having these music being played around. And truly, I had my eyes closed, so I didn't see all of it, but there were like rose petals and sounds and beautiful things. And then putting our hands in this clay that came right from the river to release what we wanted to release, to invite Pachamama. And then there was a little sort of tobacco sacrifice and some other things that, he sort of shared. There's a little sound on both of those slides at the bottom left and the top right. Kathy, I don't know if you can press play and hear it.
I don't know how to do that.
So this is our welcome. It's very short. And then the top right will give a little more.
Top right.
Oh, top right picture. Yeah, not the next slide. But... So we were sort of walking to the river, getting in the space.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and so that's a part of the day arrival day would be just sort of settling in, could walk around town, but then the next day would be this experience. And we can go on to the next slide. And you know, part of the reason that it's not sort of well, the trip is sort of defined, but there are right now is one night, you know, in this Sacred Valley. Sorry, 2 nights in the Sacred Valley, and the third day would be getting back to Cusco, and meeting up with the Alpaca Expeditions group. And they are a wonderful family-owned Peruvian-based tour operator that's an expedition company. And I know Meg had looked into different options. There's lots of people that do these hikes. My brother and I had looked into different options, and somehow, you know, without checking in with each other, we both landed with Alpaca, and that's who we used to take us on this hike. So they do an orientation. They'll give you all this gear that's shown here. You get it'll be explained, but basically, you know, whatever you bring with you, it's going to be pared down to just the essentials. The Sherpas, who are these guys that like were raised in Machu Picchu and in the Andes and run through it like it's their backyard with 100-pound packs on their backs, will carry some of the gear, but you'll still carry a backpack with, you know, with some of the stuff. It won't be a full heavy backpack, but it'll be still not giving the Sherpas everything. So so they go over equipment, they go over kind of the idea of the hike. You meet the other hikers, although it sounds like with a group of 10, which is what we're ideally looking for, it'll be a private group for just the Outlier project. Any questions so far? Or we can go on.
I will say for everybody, you know, there's a very good chance we're going to wind up with more than 10, in which case we'll probably have to do 2 different groups. And we've got to get with Melinda and figure out how we would do that. So I don't want anybody, you know, to worry about not getting a spot. I think we'll figure out a way to accommodate people because we're very likely to go over 10.
Yep. And we can go up to 16. I don't think take more than 16 in a group just for their ratio, but we can go up to 16 for a private group.
So 10 is just the minimum for the private group. So it's 10 to 16.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, me, Meg, Kathy, Melinda, Lisa, we're already at 5 right there.
Scott Heathman. Yeah.
All right, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so this was our group start. It was sort of a welcome station, and the condor puma snake you'll hear
Next
a lot
slide,
about. Oh no, we're on there. Do you see it? The condor puma snake.
There we go.
Slide. So this is part of the Andean trilogy. It's part of sort of the creation story and the belief in what is important about Pachamama, and it talks about the condor as sort of the upper world and the spirit world and the gods. The puma represents the middle world where the humans live and kind of earthbound. And then the snake is the underground and kind of the spirit world and the deep sort of wisdom of the ancestors. And so you kind of hike with that in mind. I mean, there's you know, there's parts of this trail obviously that are ancient, and that when you're hiking, you can kind of, I did feel an energy and feel a spirit when you're hiking, and it's you know, it's a powerful part of the world. So we can go to the next slide. So this is where we started, you know, officially. This is the beginning of the trail. There's many different entry points, but this is just one of them that we will be starting from. And you can see the Sherpas, they're with us. Hiking poles are, you know, optional, but they're definitely helpful because a lot of the Inca Trail has some steps, so it's good to give a little extra. Keep going. So this is the trek. It's 5 day, 4 nights. I actually did a 4 day, 3 night which is why I'm recommending the 5-day 4-night, because we did the same amount of distance in one less day. And it was yeah, exactly, Rich. It was crazy. So in this case, what happens is on the third day, there's actually a hotel stay back in the Sacred Valley at a place called Aguas Calientes. So, and we met people along the trail that did this one, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're so glad we did this one instead of the 4." And we were, we did it, but man, imagine shrinking this into, there's a place called the Dead Woman's Pass, which you can see on day 2. We got there, and then we went to where it says, I can't read it, but yeah, where Kathy's cursor is right there. That was our one, like it was a lot, but we'll break that up a little bit. So it's hikes, it's high places, it's gradual inclines. There's stops along the way. Any questions at this point when you see this? Like, what do you think about?
It does say at the bottom here, moderately to difficult, challenging.
I have one word.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know when you're going to like a new place and it's sort of, there's a bit of like awe and wonder. So, so you're not just walking out your house and just like walking on familiar territory, but the day is spread out, and yes, there'll be parts where you'll feel like you're exerting yourself, but that's why I was saying I said to myself, I'm the tortoise. I'm the tortoise, like one step and the next step and the next step. I didn't care how fast I went. I wasn't racing. It's not a race. It's a personal journey. So
Melinda, do you go? Yeah. Is this up and down? Is this the beginning and end? Like, do you go down once you get to Machu Picchu? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the down Machu Picchu is the low point, actually. Yeah. So you're going up to the Inca Trail is a way to get there. I mean, people can take a bus and to walk, I don't know, an hour to get there, but this is an experience to really get there in a way that, it's like the Camino, they call it the Camino de Inca. So it's a pilgrimage in a sense. The Dead Woman's Pass, you're up at this incredible summit. I mean, you feel like you've hiked, Mount Everest in a way. It's just like, it's really beautiful. It's not like Mount Everest. I mean, you don't need climbing poles or anything like that. But there are some, that's a steep incline for sure. And you sort of just, but when you get there, you feel pretty proud that you've done it. So, yeah.
So then I think, Rich, you were saying like on the way back, is it downhill? But on the
way back, I didn't actually, Kathy, I didn't realize that Machu Picchu was on the right. So when you reach it, do you then bus all the way back, or you have to go all the way back the opposite way?
So there's a train that you take back to Cusco, and that's all part of it. And the alpaca expeditions, that's all part of the whole scene. Once we start with them on the day the hike begins, we're in their hands until they bring us back to Cusco for the night to stay in the hotel before our flight. So they cover, getting us to the starting point, getting us to the train, getting the train tickets. It's just an overland train. So you sort of, you get to see the view of some of what you just did. You stop for lunch in Aguas Calientes, I think is sort of before the train. You have some lunch, and that's a place where there's like really good microbrew, and the food is amazing in Peru. I'll tell you, they have, corn and some, natural kind of cooked vegetables and meats and stuff but a lot of interesting spices. I'm sorry, I don't have details on the food right now, but it was, and I do have a slide coming up, and I'll show you to talk about the food that we get along the trail, which blew my mind actually, of what these guys could produce in a situation that's outdoors with an outdoor cook center. So if you want to go to the next slide. So this is our group actually with the Sherpas, but these are all the different folks that work, that'll be part of our trip from the Alpaca Expeditions team. So we have cooks, we have Sherpas, we have, I don't even know what they'll call them, what jobs they have, but they're incredible. And they get to camp about 2 hours before we do, even though they hike the same trail with 100-pound packs on their back, these big, huge houses that they carry. And they get there and they set up camp. And once we arrive, our tents are set up, the kitchen is set up, the outdoor restaurant is set up. It's like, whoa, how do you do that? So, and so tipping is important. There is a sort of a ceremony at the end. All of the staff introduce themselves and tell a little bit about their history. They're poor people. I mean, they survive on very little. And this job is really important to them. And so there is a tipping part that comes, and I can go over that. It's not, it's not huge, but it's important. And I don't know if there's a play button there, Kath. If you go back to it, there might be a play button, because this one guide that we had, he loved doing these videos where he would like do that. He always did that. He would take his camera and do stuff. So, and this is, I'm sorry, a little out of order. I didn't realize that. On the way to the Sacred Valley, so backtrack, we haven't started hiking yet. There's a weaving cooperative, and I'm trying to get us to be able to stop there because it's a nice little stop, and they have really beautiful, I bought some sweaters there, alpaca wool and all different colors, and really soft, beautiful things that are handmade and hand dyed. You can go on. So this is just some snippets of, kind of the feel of the hike, different places. You might see donkeys or people walking with their horses up the trail. We stop along the way. There, snack breaks, bathroom breaks. A lot of the time I was actually hiking on my own, which was kind of incredible. People, we're in a group, but you can be spread out because you're going at your own pace. So you have this landscape that's just all to yourself, and it's really incredible.
I love that picture of you and Andy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Okay, you can keep going. Oh, I don't know, that's in there again. So yeah, so the food, so these guys, so you can see the bottom part, that's like where they cook this 5-course meal. I mean, every day, every meal, we would have multiple flavors. And if you have dietary restrictions, they cater to that. And if, but it's, I can't even tell you how amazing it was, especially after a hike and being hungry and really wanting to eat something and having enough food that you would not go hungry. So that's part of what they do. Keep going. And this is an idea of what the sort of tent situation is. And it can vary. The Eureka tents actually is not from my pictures, and now I'm seeing that. I don't think we had Eureka tents. We had more of those the picture in the bottom right is actually from my trip, but the campgrounds are a little different depending on where on the trail. But again, they have everybody's tent set up. You're assigned to a tent mate. If you want a single, it's basically $50 more per person, and you can have a single tent or you can have a single hotel room. But otherwise people are doubled up. Okay. And this jumps us right to it, but this is our tour leader. He was amazing. And so that's sort of the view that you kind of hope for when you get to a particular point, that you see this Machu Picchu laid out, and then you go into it, and there are lots of intricate little passageways and rooms, and you can spend time in that whole area exploring around and learning about it, because the guide will share a lot of stories and history. And that's what I got for that. So we can answer questions.
Thank you, Melinda. That was fun.
Good.
Scott had to jump off. I don't know if he told you that or not, but
yes, he did at 1:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a crazy question. I'm just going to ask it anyway because I don't, I am who I am. What happens if you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night? Are you able to leave the
That's an
tent?
excellent question. So the one other reason why Alpaca Expeditions is high on the list is they're the only company that has bathrooms in a tent. They have porta potties that they bring along.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're good.
Now, I honestly, like, is it safe to like leave in the middle of the night and go to
Yes.
that? Okay, because
Yes.
I
Yeah,
don't like
you're
bears. I don't like bears and shit. I've been to
sure.
Africa. I had to get picked up in order to leave my safari, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. They're,
Okay.
they're kind of concentrated little camps areas. Sometimes we're with other groups, so there's people around. But yeah, it's very easy, very doable.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I also have another question. You said that we're going to carry stuff, and so are the
Mhm.
Sherpas. Like, what are some examples of things we carry in our backpack?
Well, you definitely want your water bottle or two.
Okay, sure.
And then an extra layer, the weather can change. So rain jacket or extra layer, warm layer. You might want your sandals because when you get into camp, you want to take off your hiking boots, sunglasses, sunscreen, some snacks.
Great.
It's that kind of stuff. I don't remember if we carried our own sleeping bag. Like they'll take a bunch of stuff from us on the orientation, and then they sort of have it, and then they bring it to your tent, so it's already there. You'll get it right back. So it'll be stuff that you need, but it won't be stuff you need to carry during the day.
Okay. And what happens if you do get sick? Like, you do have altitude sickness. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do? And you're in the middle of the trail. Do you just like leave us?
No, I mean, it's tricky. I think you have to take care of yourself. Obviously, there's medicine, and they have something, cocoa leaves, and everybody talks about that. And it's from the cocoa plant, cacao plant, and it actually is really important. And we actually will chew it, and the guides will have it if you're starting to feel a little off, and it really can help. I don't know what's in it, but we even did some of that in the Sacred Valley before the trip, just to kind of have it. There's some sort of magical property that it has. I'll call it that. It's not magical, but anyway, chemistry. And so that's part of it. But yeah, you sort of have to take care of yourself during that time. There'll be people to take care of you. No one will abandon someone. But we'll take the Western medicine and the non-Western medicine options to help with that.
Sure.
And there were people, you have to say, there were two people that came not feeling well on my trip, and they did decide not to finish, and they hiked out. But that would be somewhat of an extreme case, and yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Melinda, I came in a little bit late. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if you kind of talked about, estimated costs, things like that. What
Yeah,
kind of price point?
sure. So I don't want to give a firm number because I am still comparing a couple things, and flights are on your own because everybody's coming from different places. But I would say anywhere between 1,800 and 2,000 a person. It's tending toward the lower, but I'm still waiting to hear back from something. So, and that would include basically the hike, the hotel stays, the transfers, breakfast at the hotels, all the meals during the hike. What it would not include is international airfare. And in some cases, like on the first day when we arrive, you may have to buy lunch. There might be a dinner that you'd have to purchase. It's really inexpensive. I mean, $15 can get you an incredible meal. So that's somewhat incidental. I also offer travel protection insurance, which I do recommend, and that's a price that's based on a person's age and state of residence. It's nothing I set. It's all done by an algorithm. So I can't tell you what the price is for that, but I would say, a couple $100 maybe. So, and, what was I going to say about that? Yeah. So I would, so does that help, Scott? It's probably I would say I'm going to say right around the $1,800 to $2,000 range plus flights.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, again, I was just estimating in my mind. Probably, what I was estimating was probably no more than 2,500, which include like insurance and tipping, and then I think I looked at tickets, tickets out of St. Louis down there. It was about $800, but they're going to
Yeah,
fluctuate depending on
they
oil
are.
prices.
Right,
So,
right.
a lot could change by next April. So,
Yeah, flights right now are, still higher than what we like.
I also
And
have another.
I will have a price soon. I'll have a firm price soon. I just got an email today from a company that I really like. And, I'm choosing to go with a company to handle the hotels and transfers as a package, just because I think that's going to be better than piecemealing it. That way, whatever needs to happen, you'll have someone on the ground to call upon that's a local tour operator for that. And it's just there was a train strike the week after we came back from Peru. I mean, stuff happens in Peru, so it's good to have that. But with that, it actually was a better price to do it in a package than to do it piecemeal. But I'm just still kind of waiting for the final.
Can you just mention the deposit though, Melinda? Because
Yes.
that's the most
Yeah, thank you.
important thing right now.
Right. And so here's what is important right now. In order to kind of move forward with our group, which Alpaca Expeditions has already written down the Outlier Project as the name of our group, people need to register. And so it's a $200 per person deposit. And that's refundable up through about the end of September. And the reason that is the timing is because they don't buy the tickets. Yeah, they have to purchase the park tickets in October, but they don't do that until October. But once they do, that's what that goes toward. And then the next payment would be 50% of the remaining balance. Now their price is $995. So we'll talk about how to pay for the whole package, because again, I'm using this other company, but the Alpaca Expeditions is really what we're talking about first, and that is $995 is their price. And so $200 is a deposit to secure the space as part of the hike. And once that's confirmed and we have a group, then we'll move forward with the hotels and the other stuff that is part of the rest of the cost. And so 50% of the balance is due a month before, so it would be due next March. And then the rest of it actually is paid when you're arriving. We handed them cash. And that's part, again, of the $995. The other parts will be taken care of. But so what'll happen is, I guess, Kathy, I don't know how you want people to tell you they're ready to go, or if they email me, I would send you a payment link that you would just pay that deposit directly to Alpaca Expeditions, and you would put your name in as part of the Outlier Project group. And then I would send you a quote for travel protection. And, and again, I think, what is it today? Wednesday. By Monday at the latest, I'll have a firm price for the whole thing.
I would say anyone who's interested to reach out to either me or to you and just confirm.
Just another question. Do you fly down with the suitcase or just your backpack?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, that's what you brought up, a second question that I'll answer as well. But in terms of what you fly with, you can fly with your backpack. My brother and I had very small, like we had day packs. I'm trying to think what we did. I think we brought a duffel and then like a pretty small day pack, like only like 20 liters that we used on the hike. So that's what I would say. Because you can leave, since we're staying at the same hotel. We left our stuff at our hotel that we didn't want to bring, or we may have left it at Alpaca. I don't remember, but anything you don't want to bring with you. So yeah. So I think you just take a suitcase or a duffel or something, and then they have storage places at the hotel. I think that's what we did. We locked our suitcase in the hotel. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So like a 20-liter day pack is really all you're carrying.
And in that day pack, you have what clothes
Rain
you would need
gear,
for what clothes you would need for the 5 nights, or
No, that's where the Sherpa takes a lot of that, but that's where the day pack is
got
really
it,
like
got
your
it.
question before. You'd have your water
Yeah,
bottle, your rain jacket.
sure.
So that's like a school backpack. It's like a small,
Yeah.
it's
And do you get to do you not shower for 5 days? Like, what do you do
No.
during the?
Did we shower 5 days? Oh yeah, you don't shower. Yeah, you don't shower.
I
You
really
have to
don't
sponge
care.
off.
No. Is that the truth?
I was
Or
trying to think, did we shower? But yeah, you don't shower.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
And
They do
which
have the
airport do you
porta
fly
potties.
into?
So that's a great question. So ultimately, you have to get to Cusco. Some flights go directly to Cusco. We actually flew to Lima, and we actually spent another night or two in Lima because it's a cool city. But we flew into Lima and then took a little, local plane to Cusco. You can fly directly into Cusco. The other people in our group did that. So that's sort of something to consider. I can help you to think through that, but I would look at both options and just see what's better budget wise and what's better schedule wise. The private transfer will leave from Cusco Airport to get us to the first night's stay in the Sacred Valley. So we do want to try to coordinate as best we can the arrival into Cusco. So if you fly into Lima, they have lots of flights from Lima to Cusco. Or if you fly directly to Cusco, we'll see what's, it'd be nice to get, maybe midday arrival kind of situation. So I think the Sacred Valley is a 2-hour drive, as I recall, maybe 2.5. Oh, looks like you're writing notes, Rich. Looks like you might be trying it out.
I'm just saying, I ran the New York City Marathon. I'm like, I could do this, but I'm like,
Yeah. All right. Well, you know where to, we can stay on the call, but if, any questions, please let me know.
Thanks, Melinda.
No, we definitely
Yeah.
will. I definitely will.
Okay.
Thank you, Melinda.
No, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Melinda. This is great. Really good
Good.
stuff. I've had a
Good.
lot of friends that have done this as well, and they just said it's unbelievable. So that's why
Yeah.
I joined this
Yeah.
call.
And there
Good.
really are a bunch more outliers who are interested who couldn't make it today. So
Yeah.
it could be a really fun group of us.
Yeah, and I would say, it's not urgent for the deposit, but the sooner we
Well,
go
we need to
forward,
lock that down, that $200.
then we'll have the space. Yeah, the space for the alpaca is probably the first, part of the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, great.
All right. Well,
Thank you all.
Thank
good to
you.
see you. Good to see you,
Okay,
Scott.
same here. Okay. Bye.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, let me stop recording.